Greetings and welcome back once again to From the Depths and to our increasingly ineffective fortress. Despite its awesome weapons, we have found its natural predator in the form of aircraft. Yes, we need to address this particular problem, but there are many other things that we also need to address. Also, I have come to realize that this gun is remarkably ineffective. It's big and it's powerful, but it's not very effective. So, I'm thinking there's one or two things I want to change down here. Do I want to pull these in a little bit? One of the concerns I have with the torpedo system is that at 1,000 meters, by the time the torpedoes get there, their target is probably going to be somewhere else. And they have a very small ability to change direction. So maybe I should change the range that it's going for. No, I actually kind of like it, reaching out to 1,000. Well, actually, there's one other thing I could change that might help that. Let's go into the missile. Currently, we have 2 torpedo propellers and 3 fuel tanks. I'm fairly certain that with just 2 fuel tanks, it would get where it needs to go. So what we could do instead is use... where are we? Fins. We'll give it 2 sets of fins, so hopefully its turning ability will be greatly improved. Now, I mean, that's still not going to help it a lot if the enemy has completely vacated the location. But if in the case where the enemy is still kind of close by, they may be able to turn to face it fast enough. Because I feel that in some cases they're trying to turn, but just not quickly enough. And then once they've passed the target, there's no way for them to seek it anymore. So they just carry on into oblivion, really. Now, the next thing we want. I have been talking about building a missile system for long enough. It is time that we made good on this. But where to put it is the big problem here. You know what? I've been thinking that we need to do this for a little while. We're going to go with metal blocks, metal beams, and the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to improve the defense around this part of the fort. And then, hopefully, let's take this all the way out to there. We'll build our missile system on top of this thing here. Sorry about the close-in camera. I should have brought that out a little bit more. There we go. And, you know what? I think it'll be fine if we just make a little door that gets in there. Let's bring this down. There we are. We'll have a little door in here, standard door. Orientate like that. There we go. So our oil gathering area is now protected. And in fact, on that note, let's go ahead and build another one. Ooh, my engine isn't happy. Don't worry, engine. I am coming. I have not forgotten about you. I will help you too. How can we help you? Okay, we've got some room on the top for additional exhausts. There we are. Next, we will also add additional superchargers. There we go. Still not great, but a little bit less terrible. I'm thinking that what would be particularly nice in here is we're going to continue working on the armor and the weapon systems for now. I'm going to set that up there. I'm not too worried about the floor, honestly. Though perhaps... No, I'm really not worried about the floor. The only thing that's going to break that is if something comes at us from the below, and I'm not going to worry about that right now. But what I will do is I'm going to build a new, or rather, I'm going to build the fuel pump or the fuel converter over here. We'll place it there. Right, that's going to be converting the oil straight into fuel. I would like a few of these dotted around here, so that we can store the fuel there. That'll be secondary fuel storage, though, because I want the main fuel storage to be in here, next to the engine. Makes a lot of sense to me, to have the fuel near where it's going to be used. Have we got room down here? We do have a little bit of room down here. If I could only see what I was doing. There we go. That should give us enormous amounts of storage for fuel. And additionally have moved our fuel processing into a much more heavily defended bunker. Right. We're going to get rid of you. And you. There we are. I still don't know what these boxes are. I honestly don't. Miscellaneous. Is there anywhere? Origin block? Anything about a box? Shield, teleport? Strategic antenna? Spawn beacon? There's nothing there. Resources? Are there boxes here? Fuel processor, ammo, barrel. Fuel storage. No. No. Spares crate. The spares crate costs 2,000 natural resources, but allows repairs to be conducted on any block type. A worthwhile investment if you're expecting heavy battle damage and don't have access to raw resources. Oh. That's what they are. Okay. There's also one other thing that I've been told repeatedly, and that is to build an ammo processor. The only thing is that we seem not to have too much problem with ammo. Our ammo stores are always full, so clearly we're regenerating ammo in some way. But I'll build these so that we regenerate it just a little bit faster, perhaps. Right, okay. Now that we've done that, we want to work on our missile defense system. That is the main thing we're going to be trying to set up here. Just something to help us with any attacks from the air. So we're going to need to set this up. Something like this. I will put that one there as well. There we go. Almost finished. And there we are. Okay, so we have given this a fair bit of defense now. I'm pretty happy with that. You know what, though? If we're going to be having a missile defense turret, then we're going to need AI over here so that my main AI can control it. So let's start as we mean to go on. Let's think ahead whilst we're building this. Right, the AI control. We'll build a local weapon controller here. It's going to be especially important for us to have fail-safe device on this particular AI, and then the wireless receiver. Okay, is this connected? It's connected to the mainframe. That is good. Right, now we want to go ahead and protect this once again. Metal blocks, and metal blocks on this side as well. That is going to annoy me a little bit, but, well, what can you do? Yeah, I mean, this is just the shape that this fort has got. At some point, I'm probably going to build a brand new fort just to fix little things like that, because they will annoy the hell out of me if I don't. Right. I want to create a nice big platform for our missile system. So we're going to build this out. In fact, what am I doing? Let me use beams to make this a little bit less expensive on my processor. That one can stay where it is. That one can go there. There we go. And we'll have one down there. Okay. This will do. And once we've got this, then we should have a decent enough platform to build on. Right. Next up. I would like to set up... Well, the thing here is... I want this missile system to be able to target up. So I want a turret that can change direction, that can aim up. So we're going to start here with the turret. So go to Constructables, 360 turret. We'll use 360 from the mountain orientation and applies no force to the connected vehicle, making it advantageous for use in space. And we don't need that. We'll just have a 360 turret. There we go. There's our 360 turret. Now, I'm quickly going to check. Can this see it? Is this connected? Failsafe. Connected to local weapon control. There we go. Connected to one weapon. See, the turret is counted as a weapon by itself. Now, that's pretty important to remember, because if you connect the AI in such a way that it can connect to, for example, the firing piece on a main gun or the missile control block on a missile system, well, the problem with that is that it's only going to be able to control the firing of the weapon. It's not going to be able to control the orientation of the turret. So it's pretty important to remember that little bit. Now, once again, we are going to want blocks, but this time, since we're dealing with an actual turret, and I don't want this to be overly heavy, we're going to build this out of light alloy blocks. It's probably going to be expensive for us to build, but we're going to need to do it anyway. Now, I've got a very specific idea for this turret, and I'm hoping you're going to appreciate it. And bring that out as well. Now, we're going to have one main firing piece. The firing piece is going to be further back, however. The firing piece is going to be here. Missile controller. Right by there. Now, that can connect on either side or on... Is it, can it connect on top? In the front, left, and right. Well, that's fine. I want a friend or foe add-on. I kind of also want... Actually, no. What we'll do is we'll have a 6-way connector there. We'll have a friend or foe add-on there. And we'll have a staggered fire there. Okay, this is the beginning of this. I want the delay not to be quite as long as the torpedo system. There we are. That all seems okay. The main thing I want is just for a little bit of a delay between firing. Also, I need to go back to the AI mainframe because I want to restrict how far out it can shoot. I'm going to say I don't want this firing further away than... Yeah, we'll say 550. There we go. I could tell it not to aim at sea targets, but honestly, if they're the things that it wants to aim at, I don't mind at the moment for that to happen. I may change my mind about that. We'll have to see. Right, next up, I want to bring out this on the sides there. Fantastic. I also want that there. Finally, I want that. Okay, we are starting to get somewhere now. And just for completeness sake, I will add that little connector there as well, just so everything is connected. Okay, is this connected to the missile controller? Yes, it is. Fantastic. We want the launch pads. We want many launch pads. That's right. We are going to have quite a few missiles launched from this. This is going to be our anti-air missile system, so it needs the ability to shoot a lot of missiles, I feel. As it's going to be going out to about 550, we're going to want... Yeah, something along these lines, honestly. Thing with missiles is the more weight they have, the less far they're going to be able to travel. Now, I'm going to make this a heat seeker. I've got a friend or foe augment on it, so it's going to be able to tell that it shouldn't shoot me or my ships, so I'm not going to worry about a laser designator, because that's just a little bit more complex, and there are times when that's not going to work, i.e. when it hasn't got line of sight. Heat seekers won't matter. As long as the missile is somewhere near something that's generating heat, it'll target it. For example, if the thing that they were shot at suddenly dies, but everything else is outside of the laser's line of sight, well, the missiles might still be able to find something. So I actually prefer to give them sort of AI to deal with that kind of things. I like AI. You may have already worked that out. Infrared seeker, explosive warheads. No. No, and I'll say why. With air, I mean, underwater, you're in a liquid. You're in something where force can be transferred. Well, it's not especially efficiently in liquid, but, you know, it can still be transferred. An explosion underwater can do a lot of damage. Explosion in the air, bearing in mind that I don't believe these are shaped charges, from what I understand. Let me actually read it on it, because I could be wrong. Explosive warhead, this can be placed anywhere, but the explosion is localized unless a fuse is used. Now, I'm not sure exactly what it means by that. Does it mean local to where the warhead is in the missile, or does it mean it's like a shaped charge? Because if it's going to apply its explosive force forward, then it would be fine to use. But I don't think that's the case. I think it applies its explosive force just like an explosion. That means all of the energy is pretty much going in every direction, or at least the paths of least resistance. Now, if you could guarantee that the explosion would happen in the middle of your target, then that's great, because, you know, in every direction there's something you want to destroy. But if it happens on the outside, then only a portion of the explosive force is going to be doing damage. The rest is just going to be dissipating into the air. So I prefer to use... Where are you, my pretties? Fragmentation warheads. And the reason I prefer to use these is because I can control the angle of the explosion. Now, I'm not going to have it as tight an explosion as the torpedoes, because generally speaking, air targets are much more fragile, so as long as I can hit something, I'm probably going to do a decent amount of damage. And I do kind of want the chance of the fragments spreading out and clipping wings or hitting air balloons. But you know what? I am fairly certain that this thing has given me a good missile setup. 2 fuel tanks and a thruster. That seems to be about all we're going to need. Okay, the next things we need to do then. Let's put some armor on this thing. There we go. One there. In fact, can we afford one there? No, we can't. Oh, well. I'll have another one then. And another one as well. I suppose I could put... Let's do that, actually. I'm sorry for the weirdness. There we go. That works well. That actually works really well. And we'll fill this out. Okay. We're actually getting somewhere now. We will use... I want to armor this as well as I can. Because obviously, it is on the top of the vessel. And it is subject to being shot at. So, yeah, I could easily see this taking a lot of damage in a big fight. But there we go. This should be good enough. It's basically a block at the moment. I could shape it later on, and I might. But right now, I'm happy to just have this encased. So there we are. It kind of looks terrible. But, you know, it's not there for looks. It's there for blowing things up. And I'm hoping that this is going to be very good at that particular task. Okay, let's see what this can do then. Exit out of build mode. Go find our new lovely... and fire it somewhere. Hello. I would like you to aim at something. And fire. Oh, look at that. I actually really like the fact that I added the stagger on there. It's much better when you've got a lot of things to fire. That was glorious. And that's about the range over there. If we look over, I mean, it's a good old range. I'm not sure exactly what range it is. I'm not even sure if there's a way to tell. And that actually brings me on to something else I wanted to quickly show you. If you press caps lock whilst firing something, I'm just going to show that now. Let's fire. And then hit caps lock. You take control. You can look around. It's pretty awesome. Look at this. Oh, there's islands over there. There's the other missiles. Oh, we're about to join you, other missiles. Hello. Ah, how glorious. That was actually remarkably fun. I like that. Okay, back to the ship. You get some numerical information as well, which is pretty useful. Right, okay. Now, we've got a missile system that should be able to help us from air attacks. But I'm thinking of adding a new cannon system as well. And I've got something very specific in mind for this. It might be mad. In fact, it almost certainly is mad. But I was looking on the From the Depths forums, and I saw some people with some very interesting things. Very interesting things that I also want to have. So I'm going to try and put my own spin on it. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. That would spoil the surprise. But first, we're going to need to probably raise this up, make it a little bit more defended, I think. You might be wondering why, but I'll show you in a moment. We're going to need a raised platform for what I'm about to build. Actually, I should have started that a little bit further up. That was silly of me. Let's put that there. Put down the mirror line. There we go. Get rid of you. And you. There we go. That actually works quite well. We're not going to fill the middle of that, because that's where we're going to want some AI weapon controllers. Metal blocks. So we've doubled the armor on top of our system right now, which is all very well and good. Kind of want it one higher as well, to be honest. That would be an awful lot of armor, though. Actually, no, no, no. We don't need that. We don't need that at all. Okay. I see what we're going to do. We are going to have the turret anchored about here. So, we're going to want AI a little bit further back. Let's grab you. Don't worry, it'll all make sense in just a moment. Right, we're going to want a turret about, I would say, there. Alright. I'm going to want to give it room around it so that it can turn. We'll make a 3x3, so it's nice and neat. Right, turret here. Constructables. Now, I want this to be a precision turret. So we're going to go for this one. This turret only has azimuth movement in 1° steps. It is slow, but very precise, with 0 wobble. That is very important for what we're going to be doing. And a precision joint to the vehicle itself. There we go. This is going to be a very tight turret. There's not going to be any gap between the base and the weapon system, like I've got on both of those turrets. This one's going to be flush with the ship itself. I can't see a bloody thing. We'll get rid of this as well, I think. Well, I'll have to do that in a moment. Damn it. Alright. I'm going to be attacked soon. I just know it. Go for metal blocks. And we want underneath to be metal block there. Metal block there. We want AI now. 6-way connectors. 3 will do. This part will be the AI weapon control. Should be controlling one weapon. That's good. We definitely want to fail-safe with this one. And we want a wireless receiver there. Now, you might be wondering, why didn't I just hook it all up to that? And the reason is because I'm probably going to move that. If this plays out the way I hope it will, if it doesn't, then I've got the missile system built right now to protect me from my stupidity. That's the way I'm planning with this one. Is that if this goes horribly, horribly wrong, and it could, that should keep me safe while I realize this and try to rebuild everything the way it should be. Right. I'm not sure how large of a weapon we're going to be building here. I have not a Scooby. So we're going to wait on setting up the system itself. But we're going to want that there. We're going to want... Oh, no. No, no, no. Bring that back. We want this to be metal alloy. How much metal have we got? Oh, we've got loads of metal. We should be okay. Right. Now we're going to build this out. Yeah, I would say the middle line is definitely going to be actual metal alloy. We'll bring that out on that side. Oh, that's going to get in the way, isn't it? I'll have to move you sooner than later. Let's get metal alloy. And yes, I am making a super turret. They said I was mad. The fools. I'll show them. Only they kind of were right, because I keep forgetting the mirror line. This awesome tool that I wish was in Robocraft, and I keep forgetting to bloody use it. Right, okay, there we go. Right. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, I want this point to be about that deep. There we are. Now, this is where things get interesting. Custom cannons. Firing piece. Firing piece. Alright. We're going to need to connect this up, but I don't think it connects directly behind it, unfortunately. So we're going to need... Is that connected? Not connected to firing piece. Okay. That doesn't work then. We're going to have to connect from the sides, I guess. Or above, maybe? Is that connected to firing piece? Yes, I think it is. Otherwise, it would be telling me it wasn't connected. Okay, here we go. We have got 2 cannons on this weapon. Next, we need autoloaders. Quite a few, in fact. There we go. Loads of autoloaders. Loads of autoloaders. Thing is, I'm not wanting these for ammo. Actually, I've locked myself in. Get out, myself. Right, there we go. Put down the mirror line again. See, I'm learning. I don't want these auto-loaders for firing rate. Specifically, I don't want that. What I want them for is for something even better. Next, we're going to want... Actually, we're going to set up the barrels. Now, this is something that I've worked out. Elevation barrels, lots of people were saying that I should be using those. The thing is, the more you use, the worse it gets. 1 there, I've got an elevation of 80. That's great. 2, I've got an elevation of 68. 3, I've got an elevation of 60. The more you add, the worse it gets. However, if you add any type of barrel, the worse it gets. Except for one, the motor-driven barrel. That's still at 80. If I add a regular barrel now, still at 80. If I add another barrel there, it's going to start dropping. It drops quite sharply there. But if I put a motor-driven barrel on each section after, then it will keep the elevation it needs. So basically I need to stagger the motor-driven barrels like so. There we are. And I'm not going with recoil suppression at all. This can have as much recoil as it wants. Honestly, I don't mind. I think that's good enough. Let's check. Actually, let's put another regular barrel. Yes, this is a stupidly long-range gun. Let's check what stats this has. Elevation 80, azimuth 22. Ammo in box is nothing. Whatever. Reload time 4 seconds. Kinetic damage 225. Accuracy 0.9, which is not bad. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting. Gauge increases. Is it connected? Yes, it is. There we go. Now, what kind of weapon is this now? Look at the size of those barrels. Fires every 14.79 seconds. It does 832 kinetic damage by itself. Ammo use 37. Accuracy 0.7. Inaccuracy, sorry. Now, we're going to help out. We're going to need to increase its firing rate. Because every 14 seconds is just not a good gun. There we go. That has pulled it down to every 1.48 seconds. That's all we need. This is going to change, though. We're going to be going back and forth a little bit. Explosive warheads next. And one more. This is basically a ship gun. I know it's a flying fortress, but I'm making a proper ship gun for this. Right, explosive damage 211, kinetic 832, reload time 1.48. It stores. How much ammo? 1,600. We're going to keep going with this. We now want more. Well, actually, armor-piercing warheads. Let's put some of those down. There we are. Now, what's this? 1.48 reload time, 5.7 armor-piercing. We want more armor-piercing than that, I'm afraid. Let's get a couple more of those. We want this to be able to punch through anything it hits and explode. 8.1 armor piercing, 211 explosive damage. That's not bad at all. I could increase that a little bit more. However, I'm not sure I want to. 211, 8.1 armor piercing, fires almost 1.5 seconds each shot. What I can do now is just add ammo boxes. If I do that, then that's just going to... It's not going to increase its firing speed, but it's going to increase the amount of ammo that this thing stores natively. Finally, I could go one more. Well, I could add more ammo boxes on the top if I really wanted to increase its firing speed. I don't really want to, though. If I was going to add anything more, it would probably be to increase the amount of armor piercing it has. But I think I'm happy with what we've got. I mean, you know, I am crazy, but I'm not going to go that overboard. Right, now we want to armor this. Quite a lot, actually. We'll take this bit away, though. We are going to put a predictor here. Now, this shouldn't need to connect to anything specifically. Now, the reason why I've built it like this, and something I do need to go over, is when you're adding more than one gun to a weapon, you can't have it... Like, this turret has 2 guns on it, 2 cannons. The problem is, they cannot touch, otherwise it confuses the game something rotten. So, we have built it specifically so that both cannons are basically kept away from each other. And this should allow us to have a very dangerous weapon. We want this to build out like so. And again, in fact. And continue to build up the armor. In fact, that one's not going to go all the way out. We want to start shaping this a bit. Yeah. And that one there as well. Basically, we don't want any lucky shots to cripple this gun. Considering how much we're investing in it, that would be particularly upsetting to me. No, we'll tie it off there, I think. I'm probably going to add several layers of armor to this. For the reasons I have already mentioned. We don't want it getting blown up. Because if this gets blown up, we're probably next. There we are. We want more alloy beams. I pity the fool who tries to attack our fort now. Unless they are even more well-armed. In which case I pity us terribly. Because if something comes along that's got more guns than this. I fear for the sake of... Well, I was going to say mankind, but I'm fairly certain that mankind's already gone. I just worry about us, mostly. Sod mankind. They're probably the reason we're in this mess. Stupid mankind and their AIs. Alright, this is our new turret. Question is it going to be able to turn? Certainly, this is going to be a problem at the back there. Right, let's turn this. Oh, it can turn through it? Oh, glorious. Look at that. And fire. Not especially fast firing. I'm really tempted to change that, actually. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should. I'm playing with forces that I can scarcely comprehend here. Yeah, I'm going to change it. Alright then, you. Come on. Let's get this sorted. We want more ammo back here. Alright. So these ammo barrels are instead going to be auto-loaders. Where are you, auto-loaders? That's right. And then we want ammo. And yes, I did forget. You're all there. Shout it. No, Aavak, don't do it. Oh, no. Ah, you forgot once again, Aavak. You fool. What have you done? Never mind. That wasn't such a bad one to forget on. I will one day learn. I hope. I mean, I'm fairly certain that I couldn't possibly fail to learn, given enough time. But it's just how long it'll take. I don't know. And we want to find the cavity in here. There'll be another one just over here as well. Maybe. No, maybe not. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Okay. Right. Our weapon system has been reconfigured. Now, there is one more thing that we can do up here. And I think it would be particularly awesome. And it just struck me that I could do it. Let's add a tracker system to the weapon itself. I can see no reason why I'm not going to be able to do this. 6-way connector. Like so. Actually, if we're building it up, I don't really need this protection at the bottom there. Nope, we want one of these. Oh, I'm sorry for my engine. It's going to have to do a lot of work to move all of this around. I don't actually think that contributes to anything, but still. I like to imagine it does. Right, okay. We want a wireless receiver. Pointing that way. We then want a bunch of these leading up. This one can just be a radar there. Radar system. This one can be a tracker. And finally, this one can be a detector. Is this all connected? Tracking nothing. Connected to mainframe. Yes, yes. Fantastic. So we have built in a tracking system to the turret itself. I mean, it'll be used for everything, but that does now mean we can move the old tracking system away from where it's currently at. And eventually I can shape this properly and it'll look awesome and it'll be awesome and everyone will be happy and we will be properly protected. Ah, look at that. And on top of everything, that thing can target sky hostiles. Air hostiles, sorry. Because of the elevation. So we've got a missile system now. We've also got a very powerful weapon system. Get rid of you. And fill that out. Okay. Now, I kind of know. I know what you're thinking. You've just been made redundant. And, yeah, you have. But don't worry. I'll think of something to do with the space that you once occupied. Don't worry. You served your purpose well. You guarded us while we were building this awesome behemoth of a cannon. But I think that is about the wrapping up time for this episode. Oh, look at that. I can walk on the cannon. Oh, this is grand. I may actually just take this away, though, quickly, because I think that's interrupting my predictor. Either that, or it's not connected to anything. No, it's not connected to a firing piece. Okay. Can I put it there, maybe? Can I put a predictor there? One. Connected to firing piece? Yes. Okay. We'll do that then. There we are. So we've got our predictors in there as well. All is well with the world. I'm going to need metal blocks. And then I'm going to wrap up the episode. There we are. Okay. So, our awesome cannon of awesome is now ready. And in the next episode, we will probably test this out, and I will probably also move that around. I've got an idea of what I want to put above the bridge, but that's going to have to wait till the next episode. I do hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.